Hey Reddit.
Those who have worked at Disney World. What behind-the-scenes stories do you have that the public doesn't see? NSFW.
Only legends are subscribed, so you must be subscribed.
As a character, you are supposed to throw up in your mask if you are sick. Taking it off is not an option. You cover one eye with your hand and raise the other arm in the air to alert maintenance that you are not well. Also, if there is another character same as you cannot, under any circumstances, be seen with them. You also must take a course to match signature style for autographs.
They're right. You might frick up the space-time continuum, Mickey. You must not be seen with yourself. And you must not see yourself. Do you understand?
So basically you're saying the mask is just an adult face diaper.
Does it count if it's a different amusement park? The one I worked at has one of those sudden drop rides. A coworker found a single screw on the ground and they closed down the ride for days as they went over every inch of the ride. Turns out it was a screw that could have led to a seat opening and rider falling out if it hadn't been discovered.
At Disney parks, all the screws on the rides have paint on them and where they're attached as a seal. So they can see if the screw is loose or not. At least with that, they could tell if the screw belonged to the ride or not.
Interesting prank idea. Take a bag of screws to the amusement park and just drop a couple at every ride.
If you hear an announcement over the park-wide sound system looking for a specific person, it is something very important. Announcements like that have a chain of approval before Disney will allow the magic illusion to be broken. But it's not always bad news, like informing families of a death. I've done several park announcements to find someone to inform them an organ donation was matched. A medical courier was on their way to Orlando, and they needed to get to the hospital ASAP.
It was always startling when you heard the park PA go up for something other than a good news. Arts and crafts time has been extended for 4 hours today.
I worked a cash register in Tomorrowland. A guy had a heart attack and died about 10 feet from me. I called it in as soon as I saw. But they already knew about it. I went on break shortly afterward and saw the family, literally, behind the scenes, crying their eyes out. That never happens. Guests are never allowed behind the scenes. Except when somebody dies, I guess. Really kind of heartbreaking. On a positive note, they all got lifetime passes.
You heard it here first, boys. Get a loved one to die in a Disney park for a quick backstage access and some lifetime passes.
Let's go see where Daddy died _
I have an autistic cousin, and once while we were riding the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, it broke down. My cousin flipped out and Disney security literally appeared out of the walls. They took us into the back tunnels and into a freight elevator. Before we knew it, we're back outside. They were awesome in helping calm him as well.
When I was 4, I cried in the Haunted Mansion. Same thing happened. Some really nice cast members appeared in that hallway where all the paintings move and escorted my uncle and me out. Now every time I go to Disney, my family messes with me the whole time. Are you ready for the Haunted Mansion? Sure, it's not too scary. It's okay if you cry.
I never knew they were watching us inside the rides.
The Tinker Bell that zip lines from the castle each night is an Asian dude.
I really hope this is true.
My friend is an engineer at Magic Kingdom and one of his jobs is catching Tinkerbell with a big mattress after she zip lines down. It is not an Asian dude, but one of 3 girls depending on the night. No idea where you got this info from.
On our family trip to Disney World, I was leaning over a railing looking down into some water. A few unreachable feet below I spot a tiny 1.5 feet to 2 feet alligator. Being from Africa and relatively unfazed with a slightly sharp swimming lizard, thought nothing of it. I called my mother over and said, "Look, an alligator. How cool. Sweet Jesus, was this a mistake?" Not 2 seconds later, ears everywhere, man, a staff member was looking over the railing whispering on the radio. All hell broke loose in the most hushed professional way ever. We were escorted away on a golf cart and a huge section of the park was cordoned off. We were taken to a room where they were very apologetic for our negative experience and offered us a free day VIP, the works. So we said a big thank you and took what was offered. In future I will be smuggling other small harmless creatures in for free stuff. I also got stuck on the Big Thunder Mountain ride in Paris. That was handled in a much more French way. Je suis de soul, blows smoke in face. TLDR Disney World plus tiny alligator being all chill equals free stuff.
I love this description.
Dan. I lived in Florida for 25 years. I wouldn't have given a gator a second glance. Even in the castle moat or the big river.
Everyone in the call centers is given a stage name. So no two agents have the same name to the guests. Most unique stage names I can remember: Cotton, Casper, Arizona, Lucinda. When you're in training they give you a selection of like 20 names to choose from, so you better hope you're one of the first ones to pick so you can get a normal name and not get stuck with Cotton FFS.
Definitely wouldn't pick Cotton.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off.
I worked on the Great Movie Ride in Hollywood Studies for a while, and I can tell you all 22 minutes of your friendly tour guide's speech is scripted to the very last letter. You get 3 days to learn your whole monologue and all of the speeds, controls, stops, goss of the actual ride before going live as a tour guide. Most of those 3 days is spent in a room with your trainer reciting your script until you get every word right. If you accidentally say the word okay instead of alright, you start over from the beginning. Most tedious 3 days of my life. There's also one button on every car that, despite being really close to buttons you have to touch all the time. If pushed gets you fired immediately.
Of course it's scripted. That ride is so dated that everyone giving that speech says it with the saddest tone. You can tell they don't want to be there.
What does the Insta-fire button do?